Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Bulldog Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of the platforms which we are on. Well, the top story today has to be Donald Trump's visit to East Palestine, and what a great trip it was. He brought Trump water, he brought some pallets of food, but most important, he brought the attention to the situation of the lack of giving a damn from our federal government.
Why are you visiting today?
Well, we brought a lot of people with us, and more importantly, we brought the federal government with us because when they heard I was coming, they all came. They weren't going to come. They were going to leave you abandoned, and now they're not.
Joe Biden, he's overseas. Again, I've coined this phrase, remember, it's called politics of defiance. In other words, everybody knows you should do something, but they just defy it just to not do what they know they should do, so nobody's going to tell them how to do it and what to do. And, of course, good old Mayor Pete Buttigieg, he's coming today after Trump. And I think Trump is correct that his going there causes them to say, well, we better go. Do you believe that? Mayor Pete gets there, Buttigieg, afterwards? I mean, all this delay, all this time, and he's just now going. It's truly remarkable. He's useless as the you-know-what on a boar hog, as we used to say. Boar hog is a male, so those are useless, if you don't know the term. All you farm boys and farm girls out there know what I'm talking about. And Trump also bought them all McDonald's. He stopped in at McDonald's. Oh, man, signed hats, everything else. All right, Joe Biden. This is just a general topic that I had to throw in there. He's a national disgrace. He's allowing the fentanyl to come in. His inner dealings with Hunter Biden and Jim Biden, he's treasonous. He's owned by China. He let the Ukraine war happen. He supports energy dependence. I mean, it is... you couldn't dream up a larger disgrace of a president than Joe Biden. He's a national disgrace. National disgrace. I'm going to say it one more time. National disgrace. This is another topic I just threw in here, the bizarre habits of the rich and beautiful. This struck me, it strikes me every single day as I navigate social media, news sites, and everything else, is we now live in a society. Now, by the way, since the beginning of time, we have always admired beauty, and we've always been curious about the super rich. But this day and age, with the internet and the social media platforms and everything else, I am blown away of the attention that is given by the whole world to these people who are just simply beautiful. They're just beautiful. Or they're super rich. And they post, and what they post, like, for example, Gracie Hunt, the heir to the Hunt fortune, those are Kansas City Chiefs. All she does, and by the way, she's symbolic and representative of all these other people, Kardashian, so forth and so on. They just post pictures of themselves in bathing suits, in places, and they post pictures bragging about the money that they have. And my thought is, like, who gives a damn? And do they think that there's people that actually want to see that? I mean, if I'm a poor working schlep, that's the last thing I want to pay attention to. And then finally, I want to just say this. Compare that to rank and file folks like you and I who, thank God, I mean, just what's it like? I can't imagine what it'd be like to be married to a woman who says, look at me, look at me, look at me, naked and bikinis all over the place. I mean, there's dudes that are boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands to these people. My God, aren't you glad that your wife doesn't pose in sexy bikinis or naked or whatever? I have what I call the least obnoxious woman in the world is my wife. She wants zero attention. Thank God. Thank God. And by the way, my wife is as beautiful as any woman. Thank God she doesn't feel the need to pose in bikinis and swimsuits, half naked. I just want to make that observation. I know you agree with me. We see it every day. It's bizarre. What do you gain by bragging about what you have? I don't get it. Seattle defund, now they're having to refund. In other words, these cities, you got to ask yourself this question, and it's enough to drive you nuts. It just tells you the political gangsterism. You have mayors of cities in these democratic states, these democratic cities, that completely effed up, defunding, crime-ridden. Watch. They'll re-elect the same people. Democrats. I don't know. Louisville elected a few Republicans this last go-around, but it's truly crazy. Mayor Pete's a disgrace. I just wanted to hit him again. What a disgrace this guy is. What a joke. What a complete joke. Because he's gay, he gets this job. Because he's gay, we're supposed to leave him alone. If he was a heterosexual, I'd be saying he's a disgrace. Joe Biden put people in his administration based upon sexual orientation, not skills. Can you imagine that? He's the mayor of South Bend. Think of all the people out there that you could choose to be an incredible transportation secretary. And he chose him. Unbelievable. This is sad. 60% of men in their 20s are single. Women, it's like that's twice as the amount of women. I guess women are dating older men. But it's just so sad of this society and the news media and the American Communist 10 and social media and corporate America has demasculated men, young men. I mean, and the problems and issues that they have, it's sad. It's sad. It's almost like a whole generation of them. Emily Kors. Look at this woman. Remember, sometimes I just say you just look at the person. This is the grand jury foreman in the Georgia election 2022 ordeal. This is the foreman. And she goes out and does national interviews on MSNBC, giggling and joking, violating her oath of confidentiality. I mean, it's off the charts. This little giggler, look at her. That's your grand jury foreman. You wonder why I say, and everybody acts like, oh, we're a nation of laws. We're a nation of laws. We're supposed to be, but the whole legal court system is so screwed up from top to bottom, and this is another example of it. Unbelievable. The IRS, you ready for this? They're going to create another algorithm to go after you. So they're turning to you watch, they'll be working with big tech. So you're just going to get nailed because of some algorithm. Awful. And last but not least, the Fed expects to hike interest rates again. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV Local News. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. This happens every once in a while. Our lead story for local news is the same as the lead story for the Bulldog Show, which is Trump's visit to East Palestine. He brought water, he brought food, he brought a message, and he bought McDonald's. You know what? He gives a damn. I'm glad he went. All right, long crime. Avondale, homicide. 28-year-old Terrence Bartlett has been identified as the victim in the Avondale homicide Monday night. Avondale, Bond Hill, you get the themes of what we report on this show. Bartlett was found on Reading Road, was taken to the hospital where he later passed away. Police have still provided no further information on a suspect. Highland Heights Council member Edward Fessler was arrested and charged on Tuesday with multiple drug charges. Oops. Charges include possession of narcotics and trafficking in the first degree. Fessler started serving his first term on the council in January. Short political career. I went to law school with a David Fessler, a really nice guy. I wonder if he's related. By the way, David, sorry about hear about your mother passing away. Criminals are using more modified firearms to create machine guns in the greater Cincinnati area. The surge has federal law enforcement addressing a device that converts a semi-automatic pistol to a machine gun. Officials have warned criminals a 3D printed device called a Glock switch can lead to 10 years in prison. Ouch! Former Beechwood graduate and UK student Sophia Rosing has been indicted on charges from a November 6th incident. Rosie went on a racial tirade on the UK campus last year as she assaulted a dorm worker and a police officer. You saw it. It was crazy. It's embarrassing. You know what? I suppose some dumb lawyer who's representing her gave her some bad advice. How could you not, if I represented her, I would be having her make that public apology, which has still not happened, right away. I'd get her in front of a cameras and just apologize. I was drunk, I'm young, I'm stupid, please forgive me. Who wouldn't? Well, who wouldn't? In local news, 5 people were killed Wednesday when their plane heading to Columbus, Ohio, crashed in Little Rock, Arkansas. The passengers were from an environmental consulting firm. They were traveling to Columbus to help with the metal plant that had a huge explosion earlier this week. A new concept cafe will be built around the world of Legos, is targeting Newport on the Levee as a new location. I support this. I love Lego. So does Jamie Spinley and his son Jamie. They're going to put together a little Lego building for me. We'll show it on a show. The Brickery Cafe and Play will be the first Lego cafe in the U.S. and hopes to open up this summer. The location will offer kids a play and discovery area and different activities centered around the popular toy. In Kentucky state news, Wednesday the House passed a bill number 153 prohibiting Kentucky from enforcing any federal ban on firearms. The bill now moves on to the Senate. Also, I'm going to do an add-on here. Jason Nemes is sponsoring a bill that would make the 3 exceptions to abortion, rape, incest, life of the mother, and on rape, incest, only if there was not a viable baby up to 15 weeks. So that's cooking as well. In Ohio State news, Cincinnati native Vivek Ramaswamy announced yesterday he'll make a run for president of the United States. He's a venture capitalist, author, and founder of his own Ohio-based asset management firm. You know, he's a good guy, good speaker, and all that good stuff. Has no chance, but remember why they're all running. They're running to make more money as a presidential candidate. Something I'll probably do one day after I'm governor of Kentucky. All right, Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose has introduced legislation addressing the state's election data. The new legislation standardizes the way election data is organized and stored across the state. The 88 counties would standardize all information and then publish it online. Coming up next, World News with Jamie Spinley. He's been bragging that the show was great. Stick around and let's critique it.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. Today's lead stories. Ukraine is expecting missile attacks to concede with the anniversary of the invasion today. The UN is expected to approve a resolution that condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine and calls for peace as soon as possible. The Israeli military has carried out airstrikes in the Gaza Strip after Palestinian soldiers in the territory fired rockets at southern Israel. 6 rockets were launched from Gaza earlier this morning. No one is reported to have been hurt. A large passenger plane flips on its back as it crash-landed at an international airport in Somalia, Africa. The incident occurred at Aden Adi, near the capital of Mogadishu. The crew and all 30 passengers escaped. Glad I wasn't on that flight. And in sports, last night's football results in the Champions League knockout stage first leg. Inter Milan beat FC Porto 1-0, whilst favourites Manchester City could only manage a 1-1 draw with the German side RB Leipzig. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Cheers.